We all experience challenging and difficult situations in life. In the face of these complexities, it is not always clear how to respond, what to do, or what to avoid. It's easy to get stuck in these moments and stop moving forward in life. Wholeness with Naume is a program that explores our experiences with such encounters and provides tools and strategies that can enable anyone facing these hardships to continue walking their path in life. We can't wait to meet you on this journey. Tune in, your life is about to change for the better.
Welcome to our program Wholeness with Naume, where we talk about different and sometimes difficult situations that we find ourselves in. More importantly, we talk about the tools that you can use to navigate during those difficult and different paths you may be walking in. Today on the show, we are going to be talking about thriving in your singleness as you wait for your marriage. And on the show today, we have Miss Memory Masenyama, who is not only a friend to me, she's an author, she's a mother, and she's also a nurse. And today on the show, she's going to be walking with us on that journey of what it looked like for her to go through her journey of singleness as she waited for marriage, challenges that she faced, and how she was able to overcome. Miss Memory, welcome to the show. Can you tell us about your journey?
Okay. So, Memory Mwanaka Naka Masenyama Makambwa. That's my maiden surname. So, when I was growing up, I always thought, Kuti, I'm going to get married, by 25, I should be married, have 5 kids.
That big picture.
Yes, the big picture, the TV picture.
Yes.
And then, so when I was in university, I had a boyfriend in part 1, that ended. And then after that, I was just going through university, through school. And as I was going through that, I didn't have a boyfriend. And most of my classmates were in relationships. Okay. And then even some of my friends. But I was just waiting for that, one guy. But the thing is, when I was in university going through that, I had guys coming up to me and saying, let me hug you because you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have anyone to hug you. So I was like, do I need to be hugged by you? And, things like that. And so I finished university, hit my mid-20s. I was now working. And then I get now people are starting to ask, so what's up, boyfriend, where's your boyfriend? I don't have one.
I presume in this time you were in your maybe late 20s when you finished uni and working?
No, mid-20s. Okay. When I hit 25, because I was apparently told 25, if you don't have a steady boyfriend who's talking about marriage by 25, then you're in trouble. Because the people that you then get, the guys that you then get are either widowed, divorced, or shady, because you've passed peak period or prime marriage age, I guess.
So according to society, that is what they regarded as the prime time of getting married. Like at 25, you should have either someone who's serious or being married in that particular time.
Yeah, from my experience, 25, 26, 27, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to find out more from you, Miss Memory, how did it make you feel when you were seeing your age mates, especially at the time when you were at uni, having boyfriends or being in steady relationships, and you were finding yourself in a place where you were alone? I think I want to use the word alone, by yourself. How did it make you feel?
Part of it, I was happy for them. I think I'm sort of a romantic, so I like, hearing good stories. So I was happy for my friends. But part of you just wants to be with someone, to share your life with someone. I've got my girlfriends, but, sometimes then they're like, oh, no, we're going for a movie, we're doing this, and then they're going, and then you just, you don't have any nice stories to share. Yeah. And then, now that's my friends. Now, the thing is, my cousin sisters were getting married earlier than me. Now, so you can imagine. So there was a point when people were thinking I was actually younger than my sisters. But now we're going towards late 20s. Yeah. So I was, and then this is now where when you go for gatherings, family gatherings and stuff. I know from their point of view, it's concern. But to me, that's pressure. Like, so, you know, at every gathering, someone's going to ask, so when are you going to get married? So when are you going to get married? I'm thinking, you know, it's like marriage is, it sounds like marriage is simple. I just go out there, pick a guy and get married. But it doesn't work like that. So it was, yeah, a mission going to gatherings, family gatherings, and even sometimes with friends who are also married, trying to hook you up with people. And then also at work, you meet also guys who want to go for a movie with you or go out or whatever. So I'm like, but I know you have a girlfriend or you have a fiance, and they're like, but we're just hanging out. I'm like, no. If your fiance is not my friend, or if your girlfriend or your wife is not my friend, then we cannot be friends. Yeah. So yeah, that's part of, in my late 20s, that's part of what I was going through, because I was now staying by myself and I was also working at that time.
So before you continue with the journey, Miss Memory, you know, just to give what I've gotten from your sharing, you know, inwardly, one of the things that you faced was being left out and maybe feeling isolated sometimes by friends, because you were finding yourself in places where sometimes you're alone and they've gone out and they're having fun with their boyfriends or companions, and you were there left. And also in society, social gatherings, they become a thing which was a bit difficult for you, because the question would always be raised, so when are you getting married? And you didn't have an answer for that. How did that continue, Miss Memory?
So I think I would just laugh it away and say, it's coming, don't worry, your cows are coming, you know. And then also you get people, this can be family, friends, you know, people who are like, but you know, if you're getting married late, you know, it will be difficult for you to have babies. And, you know, that pressure, it's just, and I'm thinking, okay, so what do you want me to do? So you get people who are like, why don't you just then have a baby? With just get, you know, find a guy, have a baby, at least you have a child. So you get that pressure that I'm thinking, but I don't want to just go out and have a child. I'm waiting for that one person that I'm going to get married to. Yeah.
Okay. So from your sharing, Miss Memory, you know, it does sound to me that within yourself, you were actually okay in the place that you were in. You were expecting, that you would desire, that, you know, you'll be married at that time. But the pressure that was coming from other people was something that was a little bit too much for you in that particular season of your life. Okay.
I know people view it as they are concerned, because they are thinking if you hit 30, then you are, you know, who's going to marry you? But it's okay. I was fine with it. It's okay. So, yeah.
Okay. Viewers, let's take a short break. This is a very interesting story which I want all of us just to engage in and hear from Miss Memory, her life, and how she was able to overcome the challenges that she was facing. Let's take a short break. Welcome back, viewers, to our program Wholeness with Naume. Today we're exploring the subject of thriving in your singleness as you wait for your marriage. And on the show today we have Miss Memory Masenyama, who's sharing her own personal life, some of the challenges that she has faced. And before we went on a short break, Miss Memory, we're just sharing with us some of those challenges. Can you just continue with that?
Okay, so as I was saying, there's that issue. People will be saying, "Saka, you're getting urukukomba," so to say.
That's not a nice way to say to anyone.
It's not. Yeah, it kind of makes you feel, you know, like it just makes you feel, sometimes you feel down, and then sometimes you start questioning yourself, where am I going wrong? And then I had times when because the thing is, I really did desire to get married. And then there are times when I was ranting to God, like, but Ngari, it's not fair. You know, how come I can't, you know, get a husband and get a nice guy, you know, who will marry me? And then also part of my fears, I had fears now that, what if I meet the wrong guy? Because I had seen horror stories of people, you know, you get married and then it's just a horror story. And then, but I also had friends, because friends we had married earlier. Sometimes some of them were now divorced. And then
And that's a reality of life.
Yes. And then some of them, they'd gotten married earlier and they were happy. So it was also that fear that, you know, what if I just don't want to jump into marriage, because what if it's not what I want? The guy is not who I want and is not part of my destiny, you know? Because then if you marry someone who's not your destiny, that's a hard journey to go through.
That's actually true, Miss Memory.
Yes. So that's also part of it. And then, you know, you get people coming to you and saying, so tell us your ideal type, so that, you know, if we meet someone out there who is your ideal type.
I actually wanted to ask you that question. Is there an ideal time for anyone to get married, actually? Viewers, is there an ideal time for anyone to get married?
Ideal type? No, I don't think so. Because, okay, society deems that, you know, we all want to get married. I have spoken to some people who actually don't desire to get married and they don't want to have kids, and that's them. I know I used to be like, really? But then it's them, that's what they desire. So the ideal time to get married, you could be saying, no, I want to get my career on the right path, you know, before I do all that. And you meet your husband along the way. So what, you wait 10 years for that, when you've met someone who's actually going to help you to get your career on point, you know, things like that. So I don't think there's an ideal age to get married, because I've had friends and I know people who got married in their mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, and they're happy.
So, Miss Memory, just from your sharing, you know, I actually have two questions for you,
okay.
which I would love for you just to share a little bit more. The first one, is marriage for everyone? And then the second one, is there like an ideal type for everyone? Like, you know, there's certain people that currently are single right now and they are desiring for marriage, but it's not happening. Like that place that you were in. Is there maybe an ideal type? Is there anything that one can use to be able to, you know, select the right person?
Well, the funny story actually, my husband, when I met him, I wanted to hook him up with my friend because I thought he was the perfect person for my friend, you know. Because I was the type of girl who's like in jeans and t-shirt and I'm out. My husband is like the type of guy who's like formal, tie, shirt.
Like what you're wearing today.
Yes, that type of thing. And then, so I'm like, there was a point when I actually told him, I think we should, you know, part ways, because I'm not the makeup, pointy shoes type of girl, and that's what you want. And he was actually shocked and was like, no, but I like you, you know. So about the ideal type, I know some people have a list. There are those non-negotiables, and then there are points that are negotiable. So it all, you know, depends on you. Because I know people do say that you're too selective. That's why you can't find a husband. Yes. But then I also don't want to then just pick anyone, you know. You just pick anyone who I know, because I'm going to be living with this person, right?
For the rest of your life. For
the rest of my life. And I have kids with this person. So this is like a lifetime gig. So I really then don't want to, you would really not want to be with someone that you don't like. Yeah.
You know, just picking up from what you're sharing, you know, even viewers as you're listening in, you know, one of the most important things is to know who you are as a person, you know.
Yes.
Know who you are as a person. Also know the type of person that you want, such that when that person comes, you're able to know this is the person that I want. And some people, they make use of lists, you know, where they write the negotiables or the non-negotiables, which will be the core things that they look out for in a person, in a spouse. That can either be a male, that can either be a female. What does that look like for you? Are you in a position where you actually know that these are the type of qualities that I desire for in my future spouse? Before that person comes, you already know, such that you're able to identify them. Miss Memory,
yes,
I'm interested.
Yes.
When eventually did you get married?
In my early 30s.
Okay.
Yes. So I met my husband early 30s, and then we got married after a year of courtship. And then we now have 3 kids.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. I love the ending. But I think, what I'm also more interested in your journey, Miss Memory, is that's the perfect picture that, also even everyone gets to see. But sometimes they also don't know the process that's involved as well. How did you overcome the pressure? And I'm looking at the internal pressure within you. I'm talking about society. We've been talking so much about the societal pressure that comes in that says you're supposed to be getting married at this particular time. How did you navigate that journey in that space?
Okay, so early on, I loved movies. I loved going to the movie house. So I figured, you know what? If there's no one to take me to the movie house, I'll take myself to the movie. So every Friday, I used to go to the movies by myself. And sometimes my brother would go with me or friends, but I usually mostly went by myself. And then I found doing courses, just bettering myself. So I then decided to live for myself. I prayed about it, like I was telling you before. I would have runs with God that that type of thing. So I then stopped fighting God and then said, here I am. So let me get, because there was a preaching that I had, about preparing yourself, live for yourself, be yourself. I know people say half and half makes, one, but 1 and 1 makes a whole.
That's true.
So I wanted to be whole, to be myself, because I then told myself I want to be in that situation where when I do meet my husband, I want to be able to be that type of person who will say, fine, I will serve you your food. Even if you make me mad, I'm going to serve you your food. Well, maybe not with a smile on my face, but but I will give you, the food. So I wanted to be that person who is whole, because I used to be moody. Like I would do the silent thing with my friends. You make me so mad, I go. So yes, I'm actually glad that I had to work on that too.
And as you're just sharing Miss Memory, I'm also just reminded of one of the statements that was said by Dr. Miles Monroe, and he said marriage is made up of 2 whole individuals, not half, but 2 whole. And as people work on themselves in their marriage, as single people, come to that place of wholeness, you're able to overflow and give each other love in a way that's mutually benefiting. And that place is very good from what he says, and also from what I've experienced and what you're sharing as well.
Yes, because I learned to make myself happy. Because then I didn't want to then wait for someone like, he's going to make me happy. I wanted to be able to make myself happy also. So that way, like you're saying, that it overflows to other people.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
And then, was it easy? No.
I actually wanted to ask that question, that was this journey easy?
No, it was not easy. Because you still long for that companionship. So, and it's not there. And I'm thinking, so who am I going to marry, And what type of person are they going to be? Is the family going to like me? Am I going to get along with my sisters-in-law, with my in-laws, and, stuff like that. So it wasn't easy, even like, so I'm in my late 20s, right? And now I'm making decisions for myself. It means now I'm going to need to accommodate someone, and know which battles to fight and which not to accommodate, which I wouldn't have been able to do in my mid-20s.
So this allowed you to mature.
Yes, it allowed me to mature and to know when to say, when part of you wants to say, I told you so. I matured enough not to do that. Yes, so I think it also would help with dealing with my relationship with my in-laws as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So just also giving a summary of the things that you're sharing, Miss Memory, of the things that have helped you on this journey of thriving in your singleness as you wait for your marriage.
Yes.
You spoke about developing yourself. And this is something which is very important for every person. Keep on working on yourself.
Yes.
What are those gifts that you have? Work on them.
Yes.
What are those hobbies that you have? Do them. Enjoy them. What are those skills that you need to sharpen? Work on those. And as you're also working on those, you're also putting yourself in a place where you're preparing for the marriage.
Yes.
As we said, marriage is made up of 2 whole individuals. Viewers, let's take a short break. Miss Memory, do take us through. Are there any other things that you'd like to share with us?
Marry your destiny.
Okay. What does that look like? And what is that actually?
So by that, I mean, marry someone who compliments you.
Okay.
Someone who's going to support you in what you're going to do, and someone you are going to support in what they're going to do. So when you're dating, they, ask the questions, and what their calling is, what they want to do in life, so that you know if I'm better able to support that. When you marry your destiny, like sometimes, you're two people who come together who haven't been living together, and that's not as easy, as they show in the movies.
That's
true.
I later realized that
yes,
too.
Yes.
Yes.
So for you to then be able to get through that, marry your friend, marry someone that you like.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So get to know them and marry. I used to be like, you can meet a guy in 3 months and in like 3 weeks, and if you like them, why not get married, right? And then you realize after 3 years that, oh my gosh, I did not expect this. So yeah, marry, there's no, because rushing to then get married because you're under pressure, because people are telling you you're getting old, your biological clock is ticking.
And to be honest, that does put pressure.
Yes.
So in that moment where, you are aware of the pressure that is around you.
Yes.
Do not give in to the pressure.
Don't give in to the pressure. Do what, walk your walk. Yes, listen to advice from others, but take the paths that work for you. Because it worked for you that you got married early, right? But
I did, yes.
But then for me, like I said, I used to be so moody. I'm sure you would have said, manti uchicha, manti papa, no, that type of thing. So I trusted God enough to know that in the right time, in the right season, He will bring that guy who was in South Africa, by the way, while I was praying here in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's really eye-opening. Work on yourself, work on your character. There are some areas that in this particular area, I may need to work a little bit more. And this is feedback that you receive from friends, from people around you, or even some of the things that you see yourself that, in this area, I may need to improve more. Why not use that time as you are waiting for marriage, for that person to come, that you work on yourself, that you are preparing yourself such that you present the best of you, or the better part of you to that person.
Yes. Yeah, so that's important, because we're always looking for Mr. Right, but you ever ask yourself, am I Mrs. Right?
I haven't pondered on that as well. Am I the right person?
Am I the right person for this other person? We watch all these nice romantic movies, chick flicks, which then tell you the perfect guy is, you will give you breakfast in bed.
The knight in a shining armor.
Yes, you go out all the time.
Yes.
But real life is a bit different from that.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes, so have realistic, that list that we talked about, be realistic about it. There are things that you may see that are red flags, and then you choose to ignore them. And then you bring them up after you're married, and then you're like, but I saw this when we were dating. And then there are also things that you do that are toxic, or toxic is a strong word. That
good.
People even complain about it. So if your sister is complaining about it, or your friend is complaining about it, your husband will probably complain about it. I know they love you, but it's things like that you would need also to work on.
Are there any positives that come through from the community as well?
You get a group of people who are like, support you and encourage you to be doing the courses that I was talking about, like developing yourself. Like I had mentors and friends, and who actually then were pushing me towards those courses. Like someone helped me to do the counseling course. And, they tell you it's okay. You're 29 and you're not married. It's okay. When the time is right, it will happen in the correct season. So don't. So yes, in as much as people put pressure on you, they are concerned, I understand. There are also people who see more to life than just you getting married. Yes, they understand the desire is there to get married, but then they support you through your singleness.
Yeah, I'm also just reflecting, I talk to many young girls as well, and this is also something that is also quite, that's their world in that particular moment, because, for most young girls, even most young men, they're also looking at that, when will I get married? When is the right time? What sort of person am I getting married to? And one of the things that, Miss Memory, she's sharing her journey, she's also talking about the issue of role models within the society. Do you have those people around you that also are modeling that picture that you want for marriage? Some of the things that we see, or images that we have of what a perfect marriage looks like, on the ground as we are going through life, it's not exactly like that.
Yes.
Do you have people that you relate with that are able to show that picture to you, that you can also just see what it looks like? And when you are now, walking that journey, you know exactly also what you want for yourself,
Yes.
and what it looks like as well.